Hi, everyone. Miss Melinda here, your spiritual worker from MissMelinda's MetaphysicalServices.com, here to host our weekly live spirit chat, which is a chance for you to participate in a group coaching session and get your questions answered regarding your spiritual development, developing your spiritual path, tuning into and working with your intuition, developing your psychic abilities, and all kinds of things related, including working with your spirit guides, your guardian angels, your guardian spirits, your ancestors, practicing magic, practicing candle magic, divination, tarot, and all kinds of related things. So if you have questions for me, go ahead and ask them, and I am happy to answer any of the questions that you may have to the best of my ability. Hi, Jim. Thank you for joining. Nice to see you here. So for those of you who haven't been here before, you can definitely ask any kind of questions under the sun regarding your spiritual development and developing your spiritual path, all kinds of things related. I love you too, Jim. I so appreciate you. Thank you for being here. I do have a special announcement before I begin the chat. And I usually do like to take a little bit of time for any special announcements that I may have. Today is the last day to participate in our massive Spring Spectacular giveaway, which Jim from Divine Hand is part of with me, along with Madame Pamita, along with Christina Galvez, along with Mama V from Conjure and the Root, along with Ruth from the Tarot Witchery. We are all participating in a massive giveaway. You stand to win over $400 worth of prizes and services, including a palm reading and including a tarot reading from me, a 30-minute tarot reading via phone, and a guided meditation, which I have created for cultivating faith and manifesting blessings. The reason I've created a guided meditation for cultivating faith and manifesting blessings is because it's a energy work that actually allows you to tap into the energy of gratitude in order to attract more things from the universe, more things into your life, which you will be grateful for. It's a meditation that really helps you to center yourself wherever you are in your life right now and remind yourself and truly feel that you are exactly where you should be at this time. Everything in your life is exactly how it should be at this time, and really assist you with opening up to receiving the blessings and receiving the things that are in store for you, the opportunities, the blessings, all of the wonderful things that the universe already has in store for you. So it's a meditation that really allows you to adjust your mindset and assist with being open to attracting those things that the universe really wants to give you. So that's just a little bit about what that meditation is all about. As I've been saying the title over the last few days, Cultivating Faith and Manifesting Blessings, I've realized that there are a lot of nuances there. There are a lot of subtleties there that maybe people wouldn't understand. And a lot of people, unfortunately, make the assumption that they associate the word faith with Christianity. And I have nothing against Christianity, although I'm not a big fan of fundamentalist Christians. I do have something against particular facets of Christianity. But I want to be clear about what kind of faith and what kind of blessings that I am talking about here. So that's just a little interesting tidbit. Today is the last day to join the giveaway. I've got it posted in my feed like 4 different times. You can see more details about it in my story. You can go to Divine Hand Gym and check it out. We're all participating in this massive giveaway. We can't wait to see who the winner is going to be. It's going to be one lucky person who's going to take all of those prizes, a giant amount of prizes. And we're going to announce the winner tomorrow. So this is going to happen quick, and you have until midnight tonight to go ahead and enter. And that's we're assigning a specific time zone to that. So just keep it in mind. You should do it tonight. You should do it as soon as possible if you want to enter. Let's see. I did have one early submission, one early question submitted for today's spirit chat. And the question that I received is, how do you clear energy from your tarot deck how do you clear other people's energy from your tarot deck if someone else has touched it? So I'm going to go ahead and address that. I will first clarify that I do let other people touch my tarot cards, and a lot of readers let other people touch their tarot cards. In fact, if you're reading in a very traditional fashion, which I don't, but a lot of people do, then traditionally you would let the person you are reading for shuffle that deck and cut that deck before you read for them. All the same, if you need to clear or cleanse your tarot deck, there are lots of ways to do so. One of the things that I personally prefer is a smudge. So I would light up whatever kind of incense you feel works for banishing unwanted energies. And when I say whatever you feel works, I mean whatever resonates with you, because that's very important. Personally, I would probably use frankincense. I used to use sage, but I'm getting away from that. That's why I'm saying I would probably use frankincense. I think frankincense would be an excellent one for this, because frankincense not only cleanses and purifies, it also assists with setting the tone and influencing the energy for magical or spiritual or metaphysical work and that sort of connection. So frankincense has a lot of different components that work in conjunction with one another and would be excellent for smudging and clearing any kind of tools used for divination or for magic, as well as for cleansing your space and helping to create that sacred space before you go ahead and practice. And I would just use coal incense, charcoal, and light it, light the incense, get it going. You wait until it's nice and hot, put the frankincense on there, and then I will shuffle through my cards right in the smoke, right in the thick of the smoke, as close as I can get it to the coal without damaging the cards. And I'll just go ahead and shuffle each card of the deck right through that smoke as many times as I feel I need to, until, I feel that the job has been done. The goal is accomplished. And if you want to heighten that, then you can go ahead and do some chanting or do some praying or do some visualization while you are running your cards through the smoke. The reason I give different options for how you may want to enhance that practice is because it's really important to keep in mind that different things work better for different people. So some people are going to be particularly good at and particularly drawn to visualization or their sense of sight, right? And some people are going to be more drawn to sound or vocalizing. And some people are going to be more drawn to, you might want to sing, you might want to pray. It depends on your beliefs, your practices, and really what works for you. So I do like chanting for something like that. And I would say a chant that is coming from my heart so that it is personal to me, but it's also fun to make up something that rhymes or something that has some kind of a ring to it, or maybe even some tradition behind it in order to give it that extra oomph and in order for it to really go the extra mile in meaning something for you. One of the chants that I like to use, it's not complicated and it doesn't rhyme, but all unwanted energies and entities be gone. Only the forces and powers I wish shall be with me from this moment on. So as I'm saying the whole thing, I'm realizing, yeah, it does rhyme. I've just been saying it for years. So that's one that I like. All negative entities and energies be gone, or all unwanted. In recent years, I've really been changing the way that I use words. So instead of saying negative, I usually say unwanted. There's nothing really, this is a whole giant topic, but it's a good idea to think of things in these terms. There's nothing that exists that isn't supposed to exist. So there's nothing really that is specifically negative, but if you have something around you that you don't want, then it is an unwanted energy. Maybe it's something that doesn't belong to you. Maybe it's something that you need to release, but it doesn't mean that it is a negative force or a negative influence in your life. And that's just about thinking about the words that you use and what it really means and how that affects your mindset. So I would say All unwanted energies and entities be gone. All that does not belong to me is released. Only the forces and powers that I wish will remain with me from this moment on. That's a chant that you could use while cleansing your tarot cards. Okay, so let me see if I have any other questions here, because I might see some new faces. I think there's some new faces here. Welcome, everybody. I know, Jim, I want to win it too. I was thinking about that today. We can't win it. It's our contest. For those of you who are listening, we can't win it. Don't worry, we're not cheating. Okay, so welcome new faces. Hello to everybody. Hello, Angeliska Ascada, perhaps. Probably not saying it totally correct, but welcome. Okay, and I've got another question. How should I pray? It's not something I do. If prayer isn't something that you do, then you should not pray. You should do something that feels comfortable to you and that works for you and that you feel natural doing and that you feel a natural calling to. Now, on the other hand, if you are working with a deity, for example, not everyone works with deities, of course, but if you do, and you're looking for a way to really make a stronger connection with that deity, then you may want to consider taking up the practice of prayer. Obviously, who you pray to and in what way that you pray, that's going to depend highly upon your personal practice, your personal philosophies, your personal belief system, as well as really what works for you. But when people hear the word prayer, they often think that this needs to be something very formalized, that this needs to be something that is said in very formal words, something that, I think that this is another thing where we've been so overexposed to Christian doctrines that it's hard for us to get out of that mindset. Again, I have nothing against Christianity. I do have something against certain facets of Christianity or certain beliefs that lie within the larger religion. However, what I'm saying is sometimes I think that a lot of these words, they have other religious connotations to them, and that it really affects the way that we perceive it, and therefore we have a hard time kind of getting our minds around those obstacles. So let me just say that a prayer doesn't have to be something super formalized. A prayer doesn't have to follow a certain formula. A prayer doesn't have to sound like something you would have done in church. A prayer doesn't have to sound like you are prostrating yourself in front of an all-powerful God. A prayer can be a conversation. A prayer can be something from your heart. A prayer can be simply you just talking to a deity about what's going on in your life, what you need, what you're seeking, what you're looking for, what kind of guidance would be most efficient for you or most helpful for you at this time, what kind of messages you are looking to receive, etc. So very personalized, very much from your heart, very much about your personal relationship with the universe or with the deity. Because you don't also only have to pray to a deity. You can also pray to the universe. You can also talk to the universe. You can also talk to different forms of energy. I see money as a form of energy that is a living entity all of itself. For example, I see love as a living entity. This energy becomes a living entity all of itself. So even if you don't work with deities, there are still forces of energy that you may wish to communicate with. If you're a verbal person, then praying may be a good way to do that. And prayer can be as simple as speaking from your heart and having a conversation, even if it's one-sided. I hope that helps with some ideas about what prayer is and what may be helpful for you. Hank Russell, let me know if that was helpful for you and if you have any follow-up questions. So Jim says, wish I could stay longer, off to go on grandpa duty. I'll watch the whole thing later. See you later, Jim. Have a good day. Have fun with your grandchildren or child, maybe. I think maybe there's just one. One question: I have any good guidance to set up for peaceful sleep and clear and happy dreams? Yeah, well, some of what I'm going to say is a little bit common sense, but what I mean by that is maybe you've heard it before. So pardon me if this is something that you've heard before, but having good bedtime hygiene, in other words, having a ritual that you set up for yourself every night at the same time before bed. So having a bedtime and then knowing how long you need to have your bedtime ritual, whether you need like an hour to get ready for bed or you need 2 hours to start mentally preparing and winding your mind down for bed, whatever it may be. And set up things on your nightstand table. Set up your bedroom like a little altar to sleep. Set up your nighttime table with like whatever makes sense and feels good to you. It could be a crystal that helps with the energies of peace, like amethyst or rose quartz or plain quartz. It could be a candle that is lavender scented. Lavender is very relaxing, very meditative, very loving, very calming, reduces anxiety. Set up some things that really symbolize and assist with the energies of peacefulness and calm, and give yourself a little bit of extra time before bed to meditate. Do a little meditation. It doesn't have to be long. It can be 2 minutes. It can be 5 minutes. One trick that I used to use a long time ago is if you feel that you can't relax your body as readily as you would like to, if you feel that there's a lot of tension in your body and that it's hard to relax, go through your body with some, being very mindful of your body. Go through how your body feels, like limb by limb and piece by piece. Start with your hands or start with your feet and clench those muscles. Clench them as tight as you can and then relax them. And then go through your whole body. Do your head, your shoulders, your back. Clench your muscles and then relax them. That's a nice physical exercise that helps you release tension and helps you relax. A meditation that might be good would be so this is more of a visualization than a meditation. One of the things I learned a few years ago as well was to visualize that you are lying with your head in the lap of the goddess. I know that Jim works with goddess, so this is why I'm mentioning this to him. Envision yourself lying with your head in the lap of the goddess, and that she has you. She's cradling you like a giant mother, that she is soothing you, that she has you cradled, that she has you protected, that you're surrounded with a golden light, and she's just ushering you into the most beautiful sleep. Another trick would be to communicate with your subconscious mind, and I used to use this very, very regularly. Just simply address and speak to your subconscious mind before bedtime and tell your mind, I would like to get very deep, very peaceful sleep this evening. I would like, even though, maybe I'm not, even when you're not sleeping the ideal amount of hours, this is especially good when you have a busy schedule that you really can't get around at the time. So you're not sleeping in an ideal amount of hours, but you want your sleep to be extremely restful and to wake up feeling amazing, even though it's not a giant amount of hours. This is a good one for that, but you can use it for anything. Just speak to your subconscious mind, set the intention. I would like you to work with me and assist me with getting the most peaceful, deep, relaxing sleep possible. I'm going to wake up in the morning feeling refreshed, feeling revived, feeling wonderful. The dreams that I'm going to have are going to be beautiful. I'm going to receive guidance or messages or whatever it is. You don't have to include anything about dreams if you don't want to, but if you do want to, that would also be a good time to do a dream incubation, which is just planting the seeds for the kind of dreams that you want. Hi, thank you for joining the Taxidermy Witch. Nice to see you here. Thank you for participating in the live stream for the first time. Because you haven't been here before, and I'm not sure if you saw at the beginning, I want to let you know this is a chance to participate in a group coaching session. So I'm on Instagram as well as YouTube at the moment and answering a bunch of questions from Instagram. And The group coaching session is a chance for you to ask any questions that you may have about developing your spiritual path and developing your spiritual connection, or developing and using your intuition, or developing and using your psychic abilities, as well as all kinds of things that are related, like the things we were just talking about: dream work, meditation, working with your spirit guides, your ancestors, divination, magic, candle magic, and all of those kinds of things. So if a question does come up for you, go ahead and submit it. I'm happy to answer it to the best of my ability. And thanks for being here. Okay, so hopefully when Jim gets to watch this video later, that will be a question that works out for him. Oh, so he's saying clearing prior to sleep, like clearing energy prior to sleep. So then if I needed to clear and release my energy prior to going to sleep in order to assist me with having a more peaceful, relaxed, deeper sleep, it's actually very easy to do that. And I would just do a very short meditation for any kind of like centering, for balancing, etc. And then I would take some deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth, and imagine you releasing anything unwanted or unneeded as you breathe out through your mouth. As you breathe in through your nose, imagine yourself breathing in calming, peaceful, healing, regenerative energy. Out through your mouth, releasing everything unneeded or unwanted. And then after that, just do that for as long as it feels natural to you, as long as it feels good to you, or until you feel like you don't need to do it anymore. And then after that, take a moment to really go within, center yourself, close your eyes, place your hand on your heart, and just state to the universe, I release everything that does not belong to me. I release it back into the universe, or back into the world, or back into energy, however you perceive it, to be regenerated and to return where it needs to go as blessings. So I release everything that does not belong to me into the universe to be regenerated and returned as blessings. And when you get into the habit of meditating, and when you get into the habit of energy work, things of this nature, it becomes very easy and very automatic to just feel this kind of thing working in your body without intentionally doing so. So without concentrating on feeling it, it becomes very easy and very automatic to feel this energy leaving from your body, or to see this energy leaving from your body, and to really go through these steps. So the reason I bring that up is because in the beginning of doing these kinds of exercises, it can feel a little time consuming, but practice makes perfect. And when you have consistent routines like this, it becomes so quick and so easy just to snap into a mindset, or just to do a simple exercise wherever you may be. And those simple and quick exercises are just as powerful, or can be at times just as powerful, as something that might take you 45 minutes. So the question I have over on YouTube is, do you know anything about automatic writing? I know a couple of things about automatic writing. One of the things that I know is when a lot of people are developing mediumship, that is something that is often recommended. Automatic writing can be very good for people who want to tune into other kinds of guidance coming from, whether that's from spirit guides, or whether it's from your higher self, or whether that's from your ancestors. However it is that you are working with receiving guidance or receiving messages, people who are people who already have a propensity towards writing, for one thing, people who enjoy writing, or maybe they already are writers, or people who don't particularly aren't particularly in tune with receiving visions, or aren't particularly in tune with clairaudience. They do a lot better with automatic writing and being able to develop their skills and connection with guidance through automatic writing. So you can practice it specifically with practicing and developing mediumship as well, or you can practice it specifically with gaining guidance, insight, etc. from your higher self, those are the two ways that I feel automatic writing would be most powerful or most useful. Automatic writing is also really great for people who have a tendency to be kind of analytical or really scientific, and people who really are spiritual and want to be more spiritual, but have a hard time letting go of their analytical mind or letting go of all of the scientific knowledge that they have, or have a hard time really having faith in these bigger things. And the reason it's so helpful for people with this personality type is because it really allows you to get out of your head. It really allows you to, it's an exercise that really allows you to relax and get out of your head and focus on a mind-body connection that really allows you to start to develop and get used to a different kind of mindset, getting your brain into a different kind of mindset. So that would be actually, getting into other brain wavelengths than what we usually use in our daily lives, which is the same thing that we do in meditation or with binaural beats. So the reason that is also important is because in that way, it can also be useful for people who want the same benefits that you can receive from meditation, but have a hard time learning how to meditate, or haven't yet learned how to meditate, or haven't yet found the type of meditation that is good for them, etc. Those are the things that are most significant to me at this time about automatic writing. If you have any follow-up questions about that, go ahead and let me know. What else is going on here? Bye-bye, Jim. I think he's gone. So for those of you who haven't been here before, go ahead and submit your questions. If you have any, I'm happy to answer them to the best of my ability. These group coaching sessions are all about you. They're all about a chance for you to participate and get your questions answered for free. And it's really a time for you. That's what I'm here for. So there's no questions at the moment. And I'm thinking about if I have any other. Good. I'm glad that was helpful for you, Jen, the taxidermy witch. Your stuff sounds interesting. I'm going to have to check that out, the taxidermy witch. I'm glad that was useful for you, though. Let's see if I have any other announcements coming up. I do. Monday, that's tomorrow already. Tomorrow is the 4-year anniversary of Miss Melinda's Metaphysical Services. I've been in business for 4 years now. So my business is turning 4. I can't believe I almost forgot about this. So I'll probably do something special for that. I'll probably do some kind of sale or some kind of announcement. And I want to thank all of you. I want to thank all of you who are watching and participating, whether you're live or whether you are watching this in retrospect. All of my clients and all of the people that I interact with, I am so grateful for your support. I'm so grateful to be able to work with you. I'm so grateful to be able to work for you. I learned so much from you, just like you say that you learn from me. I also learned so much from you, and my interactions with you and the work that I do for you is so important to me. I'm like getting emotional. Thank you so much. Just thank you, everybody who has been here with me along the way. I'm really grateful to have this business. I'm really grateful to be working with you and working on your behalf. And I didn't expect to get so emotional. I always say that the most important thing to me is that my life, my work is in conjunction with and in harmony with not only my spiritual evolution, but the spiritual evolution of others. And that's what this business is for. It's not just about me helping you. It's also about me helping me. And it's about this harmony that is needed in order for all of us to spiritually evolve. So I love sharing my knowledge. I love sharing my experience, but it's also important to me that I keep growing and I keep evolving, and that I continue to have the opportunity to assist other people with growing and evolving. And that is why I do the work that I do. I spent over a year praying every day to find work that was in harmony with my spiritual philosophies and my spiritual ethics. And I wanted the financial aspect of my life to be in complete harmony with those ethics as well. And that's how and why I have this business. So that's one of the reasons it's so emotional for me. Thank you, everybody, so much. Jen says, we have a lot of fun on the channel. Excited for you to join sometime. Okay, cool. So it sounds like she does lives as well. So yeah, I need to check those out. It's Jen the Taxidermy Witch. Some of you may be interested in checking her out as well. And I may have some other announcements coming up. I think I don't have any more group spiritual services until April. And if you would like to participate in any of my group spiritual services, they are offered on the new moon and on the full moon of every month. And they are typically dedicated to a saint. And the way that you can join those group spiritual services is by joining my Patreon page. And it's a lot more than just group spiritual services. I offer so many other things. I offer group readings. I offer free guided meditations. Right now, there's a class, a 3-part series on spell making, spell crafting, or spell casting, and magic making, including a really interesting video on money manifestation. So the Patreon page is a place to get all kinds of cool things and participate in a monthly membership program and to participate in the group spiritual service. And there's all kinds of tiers. You can start out at just $5 a month, and if you just want to receive the monthly readings. And the reason I started talking about this is because it's the end of the month, and I was looking to see if I could announce any group services for you, and the next one is not until April. So if you want to join to participate in April services, then the deadline to join the Patreon services before then is April 1st. You have to join before April 1st in order to participate in April's services. So I think I've covered all of my announcements. Hi, Brooke. Thank you for being here. And somebody is saying congratulations. I was just talking about the 4-year anniversary of my business, which is tomorrow, which I had it written down in advance, but I almost forgot about it. So I've got a question over here. How do I incorporate a higher connection to the universe in my everyday life without burning out so shortly after? I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. It sounds like maybe you've tried this before and you had kind of a, thank you so much, Brooke. That's so sweet. Brooke says, love your Patreon services. Great services. Thank you, Brooke. I love having you there. So, Kai Alicia, maybe I'm pronouncing that wrong, wants to know, how do I incorporate a higher connection to the universe in my everyday life without burning out so shortly after? And so what I'm getting from this is that you've tried working on this before and you've had an issue with burnout. So I'm wondering, the first thing that I would say is to really reassess your approach, your prior approach, and what you were doing in the past, because it sounds like you were probably doing too much too soon. So try to keep it simple and try to start with smaller steps that you can build upon in the long run. This doesn't have to be a huge ordeal that completely turns your life upside down. This doesn't have to be a huge routine of spiritual steps that you work on every single day in order to develop this kind of connection. It can be very simple and very approachable, and things that you can really work into your everyday life that are not going to be a ginormous commitment for you and are not going to require a huge amount of energy from you. But start slow and start with a meditation practice. And I recommend the app Insight Timer. And the reason I recommend it is because they have a lot of different guided meditations that are for specific purposes. So on that app, you can most likely find a meditation that is specifically for focusing on your connection with the universe, or focusing on your connection with the all, or focusing on the fact that we are all connected, or we are connected to life, things of that nature. Guided meditation is the easiest way to get into meditation if you are not super familiar with it, or you're just starting to practice. And the reason that guided meditation is going to help you develop a connection or feel a connection to the universe is because it's going to help you go inward, help you tune into your intuition, help you tune into your higher self, and help you tune into those those brain wavelengths and those aspects of yourself that are connected to the universe that perhaps you don't feel in your everyday life, right? So it's going to help you. The short answer is it's going to help you train your brain so that you can feel that connection. And once you have that practice and that training, then you'll be able to feel that connection more often and more readily, etc. Something that I like that actually, I was going to say that I thought that it came from Wiccan tradition, but then I started thinking about it a little bit more, and it could definitely be blanket paganism or any kind of traditional witchcraft. But anyway, something that I liked that I have practiced in the past is when you wake up in the morning, as soon as you wake up, you have a small altar or a small table. Again, it doesn't have to be elaborate. It doesn't have to be complicated. But on this altar or on this table, you should have a representation of every element. So for instance, it could be a candle for fire, a bowl of water for water, some salt for the earth. What am I missing? Air, incense for air, right? And as soon as you wake up, no matter how early you wake up, even if you intend to go back to sleep, you just get out of bed, even if it's for just like 10 minutes, and then you're going to go back to bed. But you do it as soon as you wake up, you go to that altar or that table, and you thank all of the elements. For instance, you greet them and you thank them. So, good morning, water. Thank you for your creativity. Thank you for your cleansing energies. Thank you for your connection to fertility. Whatever it is that makes sense to you and works for you, you greet and thank that element. It's a way of you acknowledging and connecting with the natural flow of life, and acknowledging and connecting with the natural flow of nature and the universe. So small rituals like that implemented into your everyday life are going to go a long way in assisting with you with feeling that connection to the universe as well, especially when performed habitually over time. With things like this, it's really important to create a habit and to stick with it. One of the reasons that it's important to create a habit and to stick with it is because you're actually creating new neural pathways in your brain. And the more often that you do that, the quicker and easier it is for you to get into that neural pathway or get into that groove. And you're really training and changing your brain so that over time you're feeling this connection, and you're feeling this more often and in other aspects of your life, as opposed to just within those practices or habits. Right at the end of the bed, so Jen, the taxidermy witch, says, right at the end of my bed, I have my meditation pillow. That way I do first thing in the morning. I really feel that meditation heightens our craft so much. Yes, absolutely. And a lot of people are skeptical of meditation. I get a lot of resistance to it when I recommend it to people, and I do recommend it so often. And what I say to that is, if you're skeptical about it, then try it. Try it and see what happens. Try it and see what happens. And if you stick with it, if you try it more than once, if you try it even just like 3 or 4 times, you will see that it makes a huge difference and how helpful it is for you, especially if you're somebody who wants to practice magic, or you're somebody getting into witchcraft, or you're somebody who wants to be in touch with your intuition or wants to develop your psychic powers, then this is going to make a huge difference for you, and really in a rather short amount of time, especially when practiced consistently. I see some new faces joining, I believe, maybe some people who haven't been here before over on Instagram. And our live spirit chats are a chance for you to participate in a group coaching session and get your questions answered pertaining to your spiritual development, developing your spiritual practice, developing and tuning into your intuition, developing your psychic abilities, working with your ancestors, your spirit guides, your guardian spirits, and all kinds of things related in between, like practicing magic, fire magic, folk magic, and practicing divination, tarot, etc. So if you have any questions for me, please feel free to let me know. I'm happy to answer them to the best of my ability. And something that's kind of new as well, for those of you over on IG who may also enjoy YouTube, I'm live now on YouTube as well as Instagram, and I do this once a week. For everyone who doesn't know, I do it once a week. For the next 2 weeks, it's going to be on Sunday again, but the day of the week does change, and I usually announce it at least a couple of days in advance. I usually announce it on Instagram, and for YouTube, I have them scheduled in advance. So I think that that's public, that people should be able to see when they are scheduled. So once a week, free coaching sessions, a chance for you to participate and get your questions answered. An hour that I carve out just for you, to be here for you, and an hour in which I really enjoy my interactions with you, and I love answering your questions. I love our conversations. I love the topics that come up and how it reminds me of my own practices. It reminds me of my own development over the years and throughout my life, and it reminds me of things that I've studied in the past, and it reminds me of really, it keeps me refreshed on ways that I can continue to evolve, and it keeps me refreshed on the tools that are really available for me as well. You know, when you've been doing this a long time, you have a wealth of tools and information available to you that you can fall back onto, and sometimes it's nice to be reminded that there are a lot of different ways to approach this kind of work, and there are a lot of different ways to approach this kind of personal spiritual development, and it doesn't have to be just one way, and you don't have to do it the same way forever. There are a lot of different approaches. So these are some of the things that I enjoy being reminded of when I'm talking with you. And if you weren't here in the beginning, and maybe you don't plan on watching the video, that will be saved on YouTube and will be saved on Instagram for 24 hours, and will be on YouTube for much longer. But I did have some special announcements earlier, and one of them is the ginormous Spring Spectacular giveaway that I'm participating in with 5 other spiritual and metaphysical practitioners. The deadline to enter that giveaway is tonight at midnight. So if you haven't entered it and you would like to, go ahead and check my Instagram feed. There are like 4 different posts about it where you can enter. You can enter on any of those posts. You will win. There's going to be one winner who takes all, and the prize package is huge. It's 2 different amazing readings. I'm doing a tarot reading, a 30-minute spirit-led phone reading. And Jim over from Divine Hand Jim, he's doing a 40-minute palmistry reading. His readings are amazing. And then there's a bunch of physical goods as well, a couple of different spell kits, as well as a signed copy of Madame Pamita's book on tarot magic. So there's a bunch of cool stuff. It's over $400 worth of prizes. So it's worth entering and giving it a shot. This is our spring equinox, like happy spring equinox giveaway. So participate in that. Tonight's the last night. And then the other announcement I had, if you weren't here, is that tomorrow is the 4-year anniversary of my business, Miss Melinda's Metaphysical Services. So I'm very happy about that. Very grateful to everyone who I have the pleasure of serving and who I have the pleasure of working with and working for. Very grateful for all of you right now who are tuned in and interacting with me, and very grateful in general. Have I eaten the fruit called lychee? I believe that I have tried lychee, and I believe that it has been quite some time. That's a very interesting question. Could you elaborate on why? What is it about lychee that you're interested in? Now, that's not the one that, I'm probably going to say something silly, but that's not the one that smells like, no, that's jackfruit. Okay, lychee's not the one that smells really bad. If my husband were here, he could tell you exactly about lychee, what it tastes like, how it's prepared, how you can cook with it or what you can do with it, what it looks like, where it's grown. I'm not as big, my knowledge about food isn't as developed as his, because my energy is going into magic and spiritual work and things of that nature. So we all have our areas of expertise. So Milky Barkid is saying they are pink-skinned fruit with white fruit inside. I know that I've seen them. I know that I've tried them, and that's about all I can tell you. Durian, yes, durian is the one that smells terrible. Thank you. So she's saying durian is the one that smells terrible. My husband has YouTube channel on exotic fruits and stuff with Collaborate Together because he grows things for my witchcraft. Very cool. That's a very cool partnership to have, that he grows the cool exotic fruits and things for your witchcraft and you have two collaborating channels. Awesome teamwork. That seems like an amazing balance that the two of you have. If anyone has any other questions, please feel free to submit them. It looks like we have less than, we have maybe like 10 minutes or so left on our live chat. So let me know if you have any other questions, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here for you. I don't come with a bunch of stuff that I want to talk about for myself, but I'm definitely here for you. My phone is, there we go. So let me know if you have any other questions. I'm happy to answer them. Yeah, durian is not smelly when it's fresh off the tree. But whenever we see it, it's always, you know, in a store and it smells horrible. Here in the UK, we have an herb shop called Holland and Barrett. They sell traditional medicines. A lady outside the shop said she put a curse on me because I wouldn't take a leaflet. Well, first of all, she sounds imbalanced and irresponsible, or perhaps like she just likes being a, like she likes being a provocateur. Perhaps she just likes getting a rise out of people. So I really wouldn't pay too much attention to the fact that she said that she put a curse on you. I do not have the feeling, tuning into my intuition and my psychic gifts, I do not have the feeling that she actually did put a curse on you. So I would encourage you not to put too much energy into that, not to fear it and not to worry about it. Try to just put it out of your mind. If you do get upset by it and you put a lot of energy into it, or you put a lot of fear into it, or you put a lot of thought into it, you can really be doing yourself a disservice. So in whatever way you need to, it's time for you to find a way to just clear that out of your mind, forget about it, and move on. You're welcome. Someone is saying, thank you so much for doing what you do. You are very welcome. Thank you. And then I told her I put the curse of Leviticus on her, and she was very angry. Yeah, I bet she was angry. So I encourage you to separate yourself from that relationship. It sounds like a cool shop, though. Too bad you're having a negative interaction there. So I've gone through all of my announcements. I was looking through my calendar and I didn't see when our April services are going to be. I know at the beginning of April or beginning-ish at April, I'm going to be doing a group spiritual service dedicated to Our Lady of Guadalupe, who is a patroness of mine. Yeah, that's going to be on the new moon, which is Friday, April 5th. I'm actually going to begin that service on Thursday, April 4th. So a group spiritual service on the new moon that's going to begin on Thursday, April 4th, dedicated to Our Lady of Guadalupe. Some of you may be interested in joining that. And then I've got the full moon service, which is going to be on Friday the 19th, which is St. Expedite's feast day. So that's really cool that the full moon is falling right on St. Expedite's feast day. We will be doing a full moon service dedicated to St. Expedite. That's going to be a cool service, Friday, April 19th. If you would like to join those services, it's never too early to drop me a line and inquire about it. My email is inquiries@missmelinda.com, inquiries@missmelinda.com. And I'm going to go ahead and log off. There isn't a lot of activity, or maybe not as much as usual, but I really appreciate all of you who have been here today. I really love your questions. I love interacting with you. I get so much out of this. I look forward to it every week. They do happen every week. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your questions, and have a good evening and stay blessed. Thanks, guys.